version. These are the people that marry their own cousins. It's a terrible, terrible thing that they do. And nobody talks about it. Why don't nobody talk about that in the United Kingdom? Why you marry your cousin? No wonder why you have deformities. No wonder why you have kids that look skinny and just deformed. It's just disgusting. And it's a horrible thing that's happening in the United Kingdom. I hope you guys have like a different prime minister soon, because Starmer is a weak, pathetic son of a bitch, and he's an awful, awful guy. It's the same thing as the Australia that's happening at the moment. Albanese is horrible, so bad that we don't even know what to do with this son of a bitch. And it's a horrible, horrible thing. So this Palestinian license go ahead. And Petty Wong, she's like a lesbian, Jew hating, what I don't even know what to call her. She's like an Islamist, and she's Asian too at the same time, and she's our foreign minister. It's a horrible thing. I don't understand why we go through all this, you know. But Hashem has been nice, you know, and he's been doing tremendous things. So all these horrible people will go away at the end of the day, but they'll be reminded. Honestly, they will be reminded what they did when white got. Maybe I'm sure you have the same problems in Canada. Oh, is it?
No, it's horrible here.
Same problem. Not even a shock.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I think in Australia it'll be fixed. I'm not so sure about the United Kingdom. I mean, I think JD Vance said this like 4 months ago when he went to the United Kingdom. He said the United Kingdom will be the first Muslim majority country in Europe that's going to have nuclear weapons. And I think that's true. In the United Kingdom, I think people in the United Kingdom are fucked, honest to God. They're absolutely fucked, and there's nothing they can do about it. France, same thing. Germany, same thing. When Angela Merkel let in 1 million Syrians into Germany, she let in 1 million anti-Semites. She didn't know it at the time, but she's an absolute disgrace because the Syrians that ended up in Germany. Look at the rape statistics. Poland now has the lowest rates, and Germany has the highest rates, and the United Kingdom. Why? Because they're brought in Islamists into their own country. Because these motherfuckers rape dogs, they rape fucking goats, they rape women, and the people are too scared to be called racist. It's a horrible, horrible thing that's happened in these countries. Shame on those countries. I cannot believe. You know what I think? When they said that the United Kingdom, the sun will never shine on the United Kingdom, I said the sun has set on the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is done because of these people and these absolute low lives reprobates. It's true. The United Kingdom is fucked. I don't think they come back from this.
Yeah, I see a civil war in their future.
Yeah, me too.
We're not in civil war.
I don't understand why these countries let in Pakistanis. What has Pakistan actually done to help the whole world? Sweet fuck all. Nothing. It's a horrible country, Pakistan. They marry their cousins, number one problem. And most children that have like ADHD and they have like genetical disorders are from Pakistani kids. It's 65% of the women don't work. 55% of the men don't work. Like, what the fuck did they contribute to the United Kingdom? Sweet fuck all. Nothing.
Is the app glitchy for anybody else, say? Thrown out for some.
Sorry, Mom and Dad, but I had to come. Boxes and crates with food and medicine behind me. Delivered to the people of Gaza, who are still suffering and starving. How is this possible? Well, the world continues to blame Israel for this, when in reality, Israel is doing everything in its power to actually get this food delivered to the Palestinian people. But it's Hamas and the UN who are complicit in the suffering and starvation of the people of Gaza. Some of these crates have been here for weeks, if not months. We have sugar, we have cheese, we have tuna, literally everything. It's probably going moldy at this point, honestly. And this is exactly Hamas's plan. To paint Israel as the perpetrator of all of this. When in reality, it's Hamas that continues to use its own people as pawns. We see it when they use their own children as human shields. And now we're seeing it as they use food as a weapon of war. Truly one of the most pathetic, disgusting acts that I have witnessed in my entire life, and that's why I had to come to Gaza. I got my bulletproof vest on. I don't care. I will do anything to share with you the truth. And the truth is that Hamas is solely responsible for all of this food not being delivered to its own people.
Yeah, that's such a fact, and that's so true. Why is it the whole world has the UNHCR as the only refugee commission that can look after you, but the Palestinians have UNRWA? What makes them so special? Why they're so special? They get their own refugee council, and nobody else in the world has it. Gigi Hadid is considered a refugee.
Yes,
Millions and millions of dollars. This is just a game from the get-go, and that's why I say, like, the idea of they have to take Gaza and they have to take they have to take Judea and Samaria, and stop calling it the West Bank. I think it's ridiculous. Limor Shamid, that's the same Hebrew. So I think what they're doing is a horrible, horrible thing. But look, the Western world has never been a friend. There's a reason why the state of Israel exists. Look at the horrible things that happen. And these are thick white colonialist people, and they did the same thing, and it's horrible.
Just look, if this had been released years ago, plumbers might have been out of jobs by now. In our home, no matter which drain gets clogged.
This is real science. Sebiotics pre-op.
Well,
on
they
my
are.
show Friday night, and
You're
he
getting beaten up in Morocco, you're getting beat up in Algeria.
nobody is more respected these days. Certainly in the
You're getting beat up
podcast
in
world for the health
If you
and
go to
wellness
China,
thing.
Israel.
Yeah. And
I have a good
he said
video.
to me,
Hold on.
Welcome to Hamas. If Hamas fires rockets from a roof of a school, and then Israel fires back to destroy those rocket launchers, Hamas can blame the destruction of the school on Israel. Hamas math. If the IDF calls, texts, and sends leaflets to Palestinian civilians warning them to leave areas that are not safe, and then Hamas lies and tells their civilians to ignore those warnings, Hamas can blame any civilian death on Israel. Hamas math. Building a network of terror tunnels 350 miles long instead of a single safe room in Gaza so that you can get away with terror while blaming Israel for not protecting civilians. Hamas math. If Israel kills a terrorist who just so happens to be wearing a press vest, Hamas can blame Israel for targeting journalists. Hamas math. When genocidal terrorists enter into Israel and commit an act of genocide against Israelis, Hamas will blame Israel for genocide when it retaliates. Hamas math. If Hamas proposes its own terms for a ceasefire and publicly accepts, they can accuse Israel as being the obstacle to peace. Hamas math. If Israel sends in 300,000 tons of aid to Gaza, but Hamas steals it for themselves and sells it back to Palestinians while price gouging them, they can accuse Israel of creating famine. Hamas math.
Was that mask? Mask? M-A-S-K?
Math.
Oh, Hamas math. Thank you. I couldn't tell what you were saying.
So I see that you like the propaganda.
I love it.
I
love it. In the title, Yaakov. It's brought to you by our sweetie.
What's everyone doing tonight?
So hang on, just look at this guy in the chat, Cairo, he wrote, the rest of the world and the West want every single IOF terrorist soldier to drop dead. So you want my kids to die? Is that what you want, Cairo? Cryo, or whatever, Cairo.
Who is that dude?
Cairo, why don't you come up and speak?
Who is that that wanted more deaths after you mentioned the bus to report? BB?
Aleph had the news report of, I think, seven.
Some asshole came in and said he wished more.
Oh, that was Prince, yeah. The clubhouse terrorist.
Yeah, the Western world wants every IOF terrorist to drop dead. You said what?
What's IOF mean?
Preferably them first.
What's IOF mean? What's IOF mean?
The Israeli occupation forces.
And you said preferably you want Aleph's kids to die first?
Is that what his name is?
Is that what you said?
Oh, my kids are in the IDF, so he wants my kids to die.
Yeah, there's a Gaza thing called the IOF.
No, but he said I preferably want that person's kids to die first. Is that what you're gonna stand on that? And is that what you want?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You just said that, but it's okay. It doesn't matter, bro. The rooms are all recorded anyways. All you little terrorist sex workers. I know. And where are you from, shitbag?
I'm American. You can't call me a shitbag. You guys are my welfare people.
No, you're a fucking chump. That's what you are.
So, are you upset? Are you upset about the money that was sent to Ukraine?
You guys money.
Are you upset about the money that was sent to Ukraine?
My bums.
Are you upset about the money that was sent to Ukraine?
You guys are my bums. I gave you guys money.
Listen, if it wasn't for us assholes, you little shitheads wouldn't be around. Are you upset about Ukraine? Why do you support Israel every day?
If it wasn't for Israel,
why do you support Israel every day? I'm just curious.
Because our politicians are cucked out. But
but why do you personally support Israel every day? If you hate Israel so much,
Americans want to like the American people.
Do you know how to answer a question, or you just talk? Do you know why do you support Israel every day?
Obviously, I don't support the pedophile state.
Oh, pedophile state. Okay. So you support Israel every day, right? Every day. Yeah, you help Israel grow and be stronger. You know
I
that.
support rabbis that circumcise little boys with their mouth.
Rabbis don't circumcise little boys with their mouth. That's misinformation. No, they don't.
That's a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
That's a lie.
So you're telling me they bite the foreskin off with their mouth?
Yeah, maybe your rabbi does. You should ask.
So maybe you haven't been to a circumcision.
Maybe you should ask your rabbi.
Maybe less than 500 families out of 16 million practice that. Like it's a rounding error on a rounding error on a rounding error.
Okay.
It is like
You said nobody does it.
They don't, because you're a lie. And even Yaakov is giving a false statement right now, because that's not true. I've been to it. No. My brother's religious. He's a rabbi, and I've been to a circumcision, and they use a straw to suck out the blood, and that's a health measure. They don't suck on little babies' penises like what you're trying to portray right now. And they don't bite the foreskin off like you just said, you fucking weirdo.
How did they get sexually transmitted diseases?
They don't. You're lying.
And you said nobody, and your friend Yaakov just said
no.
500.
I said I didn't say that. I did not say as you did it.
You don't want to say it anymore. You don't want to stand on it anymore.
Oh, you're trying to twist his words right now, but it's cool.
You heard
This
him.
guy's an angry He's an angry black man. That's what
I know, he's an angry black kid that has an identity crisis. That he's not. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. We already know, bro. We already know who you are. You fucking moron. You're on Clubhouse app. We already hacked everything about you, you moron.
Okay, all right.
Okay, no problem.
So why does your rabbi suck your baby dick?
Why don't you tell us? They don't.
Ignorant. You guys know they have a name for it. You can go Google this right now. Like, stop lying to people. The internet's here.
Are you upset that there's pedophilia in your family and you're projecting and trying to blame the rest of the world that everybody's a pedophile because that's what's going on with you and your family?
You live in America.
Do you know who your
Yes.
Do you know who your father is?
Okay.
Now?
Do you have any
Kyle
problem
Shithead, do you know who your father is?
not giving us back our pedophiles so we can convict them?
Do you
You know the difference between your father and a park bench? A park bench can support a family. Your father can't.
As an American, don't you want Israel to send back the pedophiles so we can convict them?
You know what the difference is between a pizza and your father? A pizza can feed your family. Your father can't.
I think we got them. How come
You didn't get nothing. You don't know how to have proper discussion. All you do is talk. You're like a fucking retarded idiot.
I'll have a proper
You just keep talking and talking. You don't know how to have proper discourse.
Okay.
That's the problem with you people. You're indoctrinated. You're fucking filled with misinformation. And you're angry because of the color of your skin. You should love yourself. You should love yourself.
But you gotta answer my question truthfully. You can go first. I'll answer truthfully.
Why do you hate Jews?
I don't hate Jews.
He's very angry with us.
I hate Zionists.
You don't even know what the
What's a
Zionist is.
Zionist? Okay, what is a Zionist?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
one
start
second
with
now.
the
That's the second question. Can I ask one and then you can ask?
No, what is a Zionist?
A Zionist are people that want a homeland for their Jews, but Zionism in practice is terrorism, rape, occupation, torture, pillaging.
Well, this guy just defined what happened on October 7th from Hamas.
Okay, so now can I ask you a
Pretty
question?
good, you little goof. Go ahead.
Okay, but you're gonna answer truthfully. It's not a disrespectful
Go
question.
ahead.
As an American, do you not have problem with Israeli government not sending us back our pedophiles so we can convict them?
Oh my god, you are such a fucking retard.
Which one?
Answer the question. And then
Give
you
me the name.
You
Which one?
gotta say the name. You gotta say who you want back.
Which one? Give me the name of the pedophile you want back.
Do you have a problem?
Yeah, I would answer. Give me a name. It's not like a widespread answer for each one. I will try. Give me the name of the person.
First, you gotta
How
answer.
can I?
How can we give back if you're not telling us
I
who?
wanna answer you. Let me give you the name.
Who?
Cairo, you asked us to tell you why we are not giving away pedophiles. Can you give me the name
That's
of
not what
one
I asked.
pedophile so I can look it up?
Who is requested to be extradited?
So give me a name. Give me a name.
Ask the question again, and then you can ask me
Okay.
a second.
Oh my god, this guy's got fucking trauma like to his head. He doesn't know how to answer a proper question. Which fucking name?
Do you have a problem
Which name?
with
Who?
Israeli government
Who? Which name?
not sending
Who? Which name? Who? Which name?
To be extradited. It works for legal extradition.
suspects?
Who is in the Israeli government is preventing this?
Pedophilia.
Who is doing
He
this?
can't name anybody. He can't name anybody.
No, he has his facts, I'm sure. Give me the name of the person in the government, or can you show me like the decision?
Along with this propaganda. But
Yeah.
Hey, give me the name.
Jay and I were both listening to the replay, like, oh my god. So he's an alcoholic meth head from Texas.
Yeah, fuck Marshall.
Where'd Marshall go? I think he went to get another drink.
That was funny. He's
Dude,
really
great.
annoying. He is incredibly annoying. Like, I mean, I thought it was funny that he even admitted that he got shit-faced and fell on his electric scooter. I'm surprised he even spoke about it.
Yeah, I mean, some days Marshall is like a thoughtful interlocutor, you know, and other days he's just like off his rocker. I like Marshall.
No, I like him too in the sense that he's not like actually a malignant, mean person. You know, like even when he insults you, it's like a rather pathetic, you know, insult. It's never like, you know, super mean because he's just not that kind of a person, you know.
Well, buddy, I'm posting selfies on Facebook promoting my content, prepping for an interview at 12. I did chest day today. I burned like how many calories? My active calorie burn, according to my Apple Watch today, is 556. Jump rope for like 20 minutes today. Did chest day. Did yoga.
Nice.
Yeah, bro.
Well, now you got a little extra work to do in the evening with a John Kitover candidate congressman fundraiser.
I'm going to interview you like a journalist.
Exactly. That's what I need. I need content with professional interviewers because it sounds professional. And the NPR interview may have dropped already. I got to check.
I have my microphone.
Let me see.
Look at the selfie I just posted, buddy. I just posted this on Facebook. Well, content promotion selfie.
I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they'll actually pull their interview with me because they want to protect Darren LaHood. I don't know, but they said it's going to come out today.
He cut their funding. Fuck them. Fuck him.
I don't think he cut their funding. They're probably working on it because he asked for a follow-up because I claimed that he's a traitor to the Second Amendment. And he's like, he emails me, he says, why I need a link or some kind of documentation supporting your claim. So I send him their own link from their own website where he says he wants to raise the minimum age of gun ownership. And I'm kind of laughing because I didn't even realize it was their own link. So hopefully it comes out. But there was more I wanted to say because he won't sign the discharge paperwork to Speaker Johnson with regards to the Epstein Transparency Act. I forgot to bring that up in the interview, but I have another interview with a major local newspaper tomorrow. But they want to see my resume first, so I have to get on my laptop and send them a copy of my resume prior to the interview.
I love it.
But yeah, stir the pot tonight when everybody else is stirring the pot, but stir it with me, and we'll raise money, and we'll create a great big room, and it'll be fun. And you'll be the center of attention because people will be hating on you, saying, why the F are you platforming John Kitover? And you can say, hey, he's running for Congress. You want to see his FEC link? You want to see his latest interviews? You want to see his campaign website? Let people get angry over this because this is what people are doing is they're just they're just bringing problems and focusing on, however it can make them angry. It's a bunch of children on this app. It's retards. Tell Jane, let's do it at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock your time. Did you see that execution in Philadelphia?
No.
Yeah, this fucking piece of shit pulled a gun out and executed somebody in the streets in broad daylight.
Where?
Google it. All right, I gotta go. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
By the way, did you guys see that clip, the dash cam clip from Jerusalem for terrorist attack?
No. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. I can post it just a
Can
second.
you post it and I'll pin it to the top, please?
Othello, what, did you get kicked out of that room? You can't go in there, so you got to listen to the third-party stream? Congratulations, Othello. I heard you getting roasted yesterday.
The last part is the interesting part. You can see how civilians are like sneaking up to terrorists to annihilate them.
For everybody that wants to see the video, it's posted on the Jumbotron at the top of the screen. You just click the link and you can see the dashcam footage that Samson is talking about. Oh, make me mod, Daniel.
What?
Make me mod.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. This guy. Sam, what happened to Josh?
I think Josh has been like sleeping on the rock the last couple of days. He was still referencing that organization, the one with the fake scholars, signing up for $30.
It's crazy. Yeah. He's probably upset that he paid his $30 and they closed it down.
Okay, so I found it. And if there's someone that is like knows about master teaching and can explain this thing, so it says Abdallah related, the messenger of Allah sent for me, so we set out until I reached such and such a place, and he, hold on, let's flip it. And he traced a line for me and told me, stay between the two edges of this. Do not go outside of it. If you go outside of it, it's over for you. Abdallah said, and so I stayed there. Then the messenger of Allah went off a stone's throw away, or a little further. Then he, the narrator, mentioned a group of male members who looked like Zut people, as a fan said, Allah willing, with no clothes on, but I did not see their genitals, tall and scrawny. And they came and started to ride the messenger of Allah. And the Prophet Allah began to recite to them, and they started to move closer and lean around me away. Then the messenger of Allah came back exhausted and in pain, or practically in pain from how they had ridden him. He said, indeed, I am exhausted. Then the messenger of Allah put his head in my lap, and the scrawny ones came with tall white garments on, but the messenger of Allah had fallen asleep, and I became more intensely terrified of them than I was the first time. Yeah. What do we learn from this, children?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how do you interpret this?
Well, my mind is a bit specific, so.
This is the reason why you study 2 and 2 at the yeshiva, in case you have someone like a dirty mind.
I was actually trying to see how they will explain, like, why was he exhausted and in pain after.
You want me to tell you how twisted they are and what they would say? I already know.
Okay.
That he transformed into a donkey. And they rode him from one desert to another. That's what they would say.
They already wrote on the occupied territory. It was like they accused of being you should see how Al Jazeera wrote it up already.
Bro, in Times of Israel says 5 injured. It's the craziest shit.
Where in Israel, Times of Israel says about the attack today, they say 5 injured.
Yeah, it says right here. It says 6 people. No, the Times of Israel, news from Israel, the Middle East. Hold on. So, okay, they just changed it. 6 killed, 6 seriously injured. Jerusalem has terrorist. Yeah, it's 7. As open fire on a bus. Okay. At the scene of Jerusalem terror attack, Netanyahu says Israel fighting mighty war against terror. Army boosting West Bank presence after shooting. IDF says it struck sites belonging to the elite Hezbollah unit in Lebanon, Becha Valley. 3 Houthi drones shot down in the south within an hour and a half.
Yeah, Al Jazeera. 6 people have been killed in a shooting at attack in occupied East Jerusalem. Israeli authorities say
it wasn't even East Jerusalem.
It's in the northwest Jerusalem. And also Macron said something about East Jerusalem, and it's just not true. And this is like the news in Israel on a Monday morning that 3 rockets, 3 drones coming in from Yemen, and terrorists just shooting at people with 7 dead. And this is mostly religious,
The leaves are tied at the stems and hung to dry naturally. Once completely dry, the leaves are stacked inside a large cast iron pot around a wooden rod the size of a wrist to prevent oxidation from air exposure, which would render the leaves ineffective. A mixture of clay and salt water seal the pot's lid tightly, preventing air. The 4 sides of the pot are covered with charcoal. The resulting lotus charcoal is fine, black, carbon-rich, and highly absorbent of toxins. It is commonly used in traditional medicine for
all the stories
detoxification,
about,
aiding digestion,
the
and
job,
improving
the
skin
entire
health.
world goes
You
mad.
know why the
I don't
Chinese
think
call
that this is even mentioned. And then people see, I see it in my own eyes. No, they don't see what is going on in their own eyes. This is not normal. And we do not accept this.
Gee, he's trying to talk about normal.
Hello.
Hi, Josh. Can you guys cash in your house tickets? Join the house, top of the screen. Click the house name and it'll say join the house. You can have more interesting houses.
I got a big fat check when I cash in as well.
Send it to me. I will take it.
Josh, what do you say about the shooting that took place in Jerusalem that killed 7 Israelis?
Terrible. I just don't know why anyone would do that. What's going on? Is something going on over there in that region?
Yeah, there's a lot of vaccination to hate, and there is encouragement of those terrorists.
You know what? My mistake. I didn't introduce Josh. I didn't introduce Josh properly. Hi, this is Josh. He goes by his PTR as Josh Sirota. Josh supports Hamas.
Jewish name. That's a Jewish name.
No, Sirota is not actually.
Yeah, I decided to support Hamas because
Sirota is actually an Italian name.
I think what he's trying to say, in an undertone, is basically that there is some kind of justification for this terror attack in his mind. So obviously he supports this resistance. No, resistance.
And they're not. He says they're also not terrorists. They've committed some acts of terror on October 7th, and they were wearing all uniforms, but they decided to take their uniforms off October 8th.
I don't know the problem. The problem with the Palestinians.
That's right, baby. So this was.
The web of lies is so deep that it's really hard for them.
So this is two culprits who all they did was a terrorist attack. They didn't target any military outposts. They didn't retrieve any hard drives. They didn't take any soldiers captives. So this could be generalized.
Weapons, you understand it's not weapons. They had infrastructure. They had network. The fact that it's two people and not one person actually even confirms even stronger that it's a network that is operating this. You don't know anything about this. You're just trying to legitimize it and say, oh, just two people. That is happening like all the time. We have like we stop basically every day. We stop a terror attack. Every time it's only one person. No, there is a problem.
I'm sure there's a network behind it, but the weapons that they used were not very hard to make. They were made inside the West Bank or
yes, exactly. Not by them. It requires. They didn't make it at home. It requires this network of manufacturing those guns. Yes.
We're stealing them. I mean,
Carlo, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think it was inspired by a Czechoslovakian weapon or something like that. But yeah, the weapons that they use are not hard to make, and I'm not even legitimizing it. So first you said justified, now legitimized. We're getting closer. I'm saying
no. You said justified because if anything happened that could. Why would they do this? There is like you would asking basically. Why would something like this happen? Is if there's a justification for something like this?
No, not justification. That's the part where you're injecting.
Okay, so my answer is correct. That there's indoctrination. That is why it is happening.
I wouldn't say indoctrination. I would say a lot of it's anger. I would say a lot of it has to do with the fact that their people are getting blown into pieces and their babies are getting abandoned in incubators. I think this is a repercussion of that.
Really, you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always and Israel is not a repercussion. Israel is like always at fault, and the Palestinians are always repercussions. So they have to go and slaughter innocent Jews on the street because it makes a lot of difference. The fact is that this terror attack, like any other terror attack, just makes life shittier for the Palestinians. For you to then come and say that they're oppressed. They're oppressed for not oppressed. They are being blocked for a reason. There is a checkpoints for a reason. There is a blockade for a reason, and you see the reason. You just don't see it as you see it as a legitimate thing. So it's not a problem for us. It is a problem. So you need to understand that we call the shots there, and not your opinion, and not your narrative, but facts on the ground. And facts on the ground that it is a terror attack. And it's not acceptable, but it is acceptable in some societies. Even people like you in the West are justifying it, finding reason instead of calling it out. So we have to do it alone, despite the fact that the opinion is against it.
No, I'm saying it's a little bit of both of what you're saying. I'm saying that it's wrong, but it's also a repercussion of what's been going on. And then you say, well, we can go in circles back and forth about, well, this is why there's a blockade, and they did this because of blockade, but there's a blockade because it happened. And it goes all the way back, and this is how we start arguing about 48 or 18, like 19.
No, we don't argue about 48. Because the Palestinian identity and ideology started like in the mid-60s, like this creation of this political ideology of Palestinians.
No,
I mean, if there was no war in 67, where would be the Palestinians? You know what? Let me ask you this. If we had lost the war of 48, there would be Jordan and there would be Egypt. There would be no Palestinian. There would be no Palestine. And Palestinians were created in 1967 when they said, okay, this part is Jordan, this part is not. You are Palestinians, you are Jordanian, you are Egyptian, and that's it.
No,
this is how you created that.
Geographically, the landmass between the Jordan River and the sea has always been referred to as Palestine.
Actually, no. It was always referred to as Syria. Like during the Ottoman Empire, they didn't know what Palestine is. This was called Syria, and when the British mandate took the mandate, they brought the name back Palestine, and it was including Transjordan, not just the land that we're on, also Jordan. Look at the map of the British mandate of Palestine. You will see that its entire map is including Jordan. and before that it was South Syria.
Wait,
Not Syria.
do you know what trans means, Josh? Trans?
The overlap between the territories is for them to decide what the Arabs wanted to do, but I will say that the nationalist idea and identity of Palestine and Arabs in Palestine existed before the British Mandate. They also wanted
Arabs in
their own
Palestine
state.
are
So much so that
Palestinian
allow me to
identity
finish.
as a
Allow me to
Palestinian, not as
Allow me to finish.
they were
They
placed
had
during the British Mandate.
They had their own flag. It's the same one they have now, but it had a cross and a crescent. They helped the British fight the
It's the Arab
Ottomans.
League's flag. It's not their flag. It's the same flag as Jordan. It's the flag of most of the Arab countries.
Move the star.
Yes, dude. Look at the Jordanian flag. It's
This
the same
flag.
thing with a star.
Yeah, okay, you can't say the Kuwaiti flag is the same as the UAE flag just because they're similar and they use the same colors. The Palestinian flag,
Yeah, the Palestinian flag is like exactly like the Jordanian flag.
and I understand it wasn't the official flag, and neither was the Zionist one with the gold star. I'm saying that they had a sense of identity, so much so that they helped the British fight the Ottomans.
Can you be more
No,
specific?
they have a sense of identity. Actually, they were insulted, if you would call the Palestinians, because they saw themselves as Arabs. And you will see by their last names also exactly where they're coming from. The Palestinians.
What are you gonna do about it? Kick me from the room like a little girl?
British
Little
and the
baby
Zionists
boy.
have been even for 2 years. Look at Ungar's mandat.
Oh, I don't care. Go ahead.
I've
I've been doing this 5 years. They ain't stopped me yet.
I'm Palestinian, but you can see by their last names. The last names say exactly where they come from.
We've seen this debunked before, so they're.
Can I ask you a question? Josh, I want to ask you a question.
She's so
I wanna ask you a
stupid.
question,
This
Josh.
dumbass looks at my
When
YouTube
the
schmuck.
Jordans, as a consequence of the war between 47 and 49, when the Jordans went to these so-called Palestinians and asked them, what do you want us to do with you? Why do they want to be a part of Jordan? Why do they want Jordanian country?
Wait,
Why didn't they say we want our own state?
Was this when Jordan occupied the West Bank? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for using that.
Those are scam artists.
Their occupation wasn't violent. It was more like to protect the
But wait,
Palestinians that were
do
there.
you think it was an occupation? Because the Palestinians, they don't say it was an occupation.
It was more of a mandate. I'm using your
Recognized by how many countries, George?
It was not allocated to them. It was allocated to the Arab state. It's not part of. Jordan was created in 1946 unilaterally by the British. So the partition comes in 1947, and the land that goes from that was west of the Jordan, that wasn't part of the Jewish state, was for an Arab state, not part of Jordan. Then the war breaks out. Jordan, under the command of a British lieutenant general, occupies that land. They win it in a war. Okay, so they won that. It's not like they said, oh, we want to be a part of Jordan. No, they won it in a war. So it becomes occupation.
Okay, so what was the original question?
It wasn't given.
So the question was, when they were asked, they were literally asked by the Jordanians, what do you want us to do to you in this territory? Why didn't they say we want our own state, we want our own Palestinian state?
I don't know. I think they decided for themselves what they wanted, and I think
And they said we want to be equal citizens, we want to be Jordanians, we want equal representation in the Jordanian parliament, etc. So, how does this align with what you're saying, that there's always been a Palestinian identity and sense of, I don't know what you want to call it, nationality, ethnicity, I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, they had just lost the war. I think these were people. I think you could probably do the same thing in Gaza now if Egypt was like, hey, we'll take you in. And they're like, well, if it's this or another Deir Yassin massacre, we'll rather be under Egypt, because they didn't have the resources and the militia and the manpower to take what they wanted. So
we had 7 armies and militias against the
answer to my question? Was that supposed to be an answer to my question?
So I just don't think that they had the ability to get what they really wanted.
They were literally given a voice. They could say what they want.
But Samson, you have to remember that even right before that, even before Jordan occupied the West Bank, they were offered the ability to make the West Bank by the United Nations or the League of Nations into a state, and they rejected it. So they rejected it then, they rejected it afterwards.
And do you know the Palestinian people? Click on the graph at the link attached above, and you will see that's quote. That's a search through all books published by Google. It indexes. It's an Ngram viewer, so it indexes every book that they have from 1800 to 2022. And it's a search for quote in quotes Palestinian people, meaning that flies up. That's when that concept was invented by the Russians in 1964 with Yasser Arafat. It wasn't around before that. Take a look at that.
I'm not sure. This is just a graph. It doesn't have any context to it.
Context is every reference to quote Palestinian people in every book that's indexed by Google.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Just because I don't care if they, at this point, they're still not calling themselves Palestinian people. These people had an identity to this land. They're Arabs, even if they call themselves Arabs. These are the people that had lived there for centuries.
So the identity was Palestinian before.
They had a flag. The land was called Palestine. Before, a long time ago, it was called Syria, Palestina.
Josh, when you say they've lived there for centuries, I mean, the population boom looks like it was a fraction, both the Jews and the Arabs, in the 1900s from what it was in 1948. And it was a small population. There were small little villages and settlements, and there were Jewish communities as well as Arab communities that were the Falahadin. They worked the land for some landowner over in Turkey. There were not a lot of different families and cultures and civilizations and temples and churches and roads and cops, and there was no infrastructure. It was nothing.
That's not true.
Before 1900.
I have a book. It has a lot of pictures of agriculture. Culture.
Someone with the book? What's the book called?
I have to see. It's like Palestine and something, but it's like leading up to it's like everything before 1948.
That's post 1900. I'm talking about the period before 1900.
Oh, well, before that, I mean, it was the Ottoman Empire for a long time. I think even a lot of
it was occupied during the Crusades. That's a few hundred years earlier.
Yeah. Oh, way before.
I'm saying you have to realize that this region is just populating the remains of the ancient Jewish state. It's should we use it? Should we not use it? Should we let the Jews in? Shouldn't we?
Which the Caliph did bring in a lot of Jews back in.
Yeah, and the Jews entered into the age of nationalism where they no longer asked permission to live in their homeland.
And also,
a lot of them converted to Islam and Christianity.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Forcibly. Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the PA?
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, his family was from Safad in English, Safad. In January 1st, 1837, there was an earthquake. The local Arab population blamed the Jews and forced them to convert or whatever you want. His family was part of that.
Are you talking about the looting of Safad?
What?
The looting?
No, that was something else entirely. This is an earthquake in 1837. I believe it was 1837.
Oh, okay. Well, why are you guys causing earthquakes?
Oh, now we cause the earthquakes.
I'm kidding. Look,
don't make those jokes, man.
I'm you're in for a trip.
What I'm trying to say is not a question of population swelling, which happened on both sides to tip the scales. I'm saying infrastructure development and really more self-sufficiency, sovereignty, modern statehood. The Jews of Israel, together with foreign Jews that were not in Israel, nation state makes.
What does that mean, a Jewish homeland? Like, are we talking about which borders? The ancient kingdom of Israel, or the kingdom of Judea and Samaria?
You're saying like ideally, or just like practically what we can get?
Yeah, like who drew up these lines?
Ideally, you'd want the full biblical messianic promise from the river to the sea.
I think it's more.
Wait 1 second. So
I think it's
the lines are a result of purchasing land and the modern day borders, right? Relative to the establishment of Israel as a state in a modern day society. So there's no such thing as like somebody didn't draw up the lines randomly. The Jews purchased land that was the original borders, and then they won wars that were subsequently called by the Arabs, and then this established what we have today. The 48 borders, 67 borders. And also, to the point, even when Jews were like living amongst other people in other lands, including the Ottoman Empire, people still wrote about them in distinct groups. I don't know if there are any or very many ideas of the Palestinians being a distinct group from other Arabs living in the Ottoman Empire.
Well, of course it was. Why else would they fight the Muslims with the British?
It wasn't just the Palestinians.
It was a general Arab presence.
You don't think that Arabs saw themselves different from the Turks?
They did. They still do.
Yeah, Arab versus Turks is different than Arabs.
But that doesn't mean the Arabs saw each other as different from each other.
Well, I would say that's a good thing, but
that's why they all joined together in an Arab League. We're just saying that there was no Palestinian state that was trying to be preserved by the Arab compatriots of the Palestinians. The Arabs wanted to join as an Arab alternative to the existence of the state of Israel.
Before, yes, exactly.
What do you think of that? They tend to see themselves without borders. Like these lines on the maps are not what they're doing.
But that's for them to decide if later on.
The caliphate.
So here's my question: like, what do you think if like Herzog was like, oh well, let's go to Madagascar, let's not mess with the Arabs? What do you think that sign would look like today?
They tried it. They thought about it.
The Uganda plan was put before the first World Zionist Conference and voted down.
Israel was not even close to Plan B. Like, the Holocaust happened. It forced everyone's hand. The Jews were staying put. And, probably the trains and the boats and permitted immigration would have tipped the numbers if you let the Jews in.
Zionists were already Palestine before the Holocaust.
Yes, and it was already an alternative plan from multiple alternative plans to deal with the dying Jews in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Zionism was the plan that survived the destruction from the Holocaust.
Zionism was the plan. Well, Zionism was before the Holocaust. So.
That's why I'm saying Zionism was the plan to deal with the Jews of Europe that survived the destruction of the Jews of Europe.
Yeah, from the pogroms prior.
Yes, from the earlier problems that the Jews of Europe were facing.
But it wasn't just that, Nick said. You have to remember also that there were several forms of Sephardic Zionism.
Yes.
Already the Yemenites that were moving in.
The religious community was consulted and they discussed. Zionism is a movement and it comprised the entirety of the Jewish nation. You can't just place it as one thing. But I'm saying the starting impetus that drew the attention, that grew Zionism when Herzl wrote of it, it was because of the concern of the death of the Jews in Europe and a tangible investment that the Jews could do to secure against it. And there were alternative proposals. There were Jewish communities in America. And there were alternate proposals like go to Uganda because it was democratic. They were exploring their options. But Jewish homeland in the ancestral old cities of Jewish places, aside from the essential constitutional claim of Judaism for certain named cities such as Shechem, Hebron, Jerusalem, not named in the 5 books, Shechem, or what's called Tzfat, a later settled Jewish and continually occupied Jewish city. right? Meaning they were building a nation off of the history of the Jews to deal with the problem that the Jews found themselves stateless throughout all of Europe. And the problem of statelessness was not resolved quick enough for the Jewish state to be a solution.
The Jewish population prior to 1900 was like 5%, I think. And I'm aware that a lot of Jews didn't even want to go to be in the desert.
They didn't. Even after the Holocaust, the numbers swelled to like 600,000. They ran away to wherever they could survive, and a lot of it was America, and like some of them got to Israel.
I think the problem with what you're saying is this was a plan for the Jews in diaspora, but you're not taking into account the people that have always been there, which, as I mentioned, a lot of them were just Jews that converted, you know? So you get the Jews in diaspora get a stay at the expense of the indigenous people that were there.
What Jews that converted? We're talking about the Jewish regions, the regions that kept to the Jewish narrative and history and culture and nationhood, like Sfat. Sfat is like a classic case. Hebron, you had Jewish communities spread throughout. Like, you're right, it wasn't so easy to just like take them all. And like land swaps, moving the people would have been like the logical, obvious choice to make a contiguous Jewish community. But alternatively, you could just like live nicely together and have the Jews of Hebron not massacred. But when you do massacre the Jews of Hebron, the Jews that are coming to support the existing Jewish communities are going to start defending the Jews of Hebron, contrary to prior historical precedent. That's the problem of statehood. You can't kill us anymore.
Well, Hebron was a terrible, tragic massacre, just like there, skirmishes happening on both sides.
Which one?
And I'm not saying it's a justification, but it's not like they just decided to do it out of pure anti-Semitism. They were just people that were concerned with the mass migration of Jewish people to Palestine. We're probably going to see something like that in America pretty soon, or probably in some places of Europe.
What are we going to see?
People starting to kill immigrants.
But you know that the Arabs that you talk about as like indigenous, you're missing the point that many of them, and there's like enough documentation that I can show you if you want from articles written back then about how they're like hundreds of thousands of them come to the land in order to have better life, in order to work, because the Zionists were there, because the British were there. As I told you, you can see by their last name where they came. You present them as if they are like the indigenous people that did not immigrate there. They immigrated also there.
Well,
why are they indigenous and we, that it's our ancestral homeland, we're not indigenous?
Between 1932 and 1947, at least 500,000 Arabs migrated to Palestine because of opportunities created by Jewish towns. This is a fact. This is documented. At least 500,000.
So
they came from Egypt, Syria, etc. You can tell by their names. They migrated there. They were Arabs. They didn't identify as Palestinians. This is a creation of the 60s.
So they were, yes, people immigrated there for job opportunities even before Zionism from the Ottoman Empire.
No.
Not just Jews.
No.
Of course.
So there were always migrants, but there was no major settlement. The Ottomans did not do any major settlement in the territory. Their main agenda, honestly, was they blocked Jews from buying land, but there's no major accomplishments that they did. They didn't build a university. So to say that they were always migrating there for job opportunities, to be so blasé, I'm talking about 500,000 in a 15-year period. And that didn't happen under the Ottomans.
No, it's not necessarily under the Ottomans. It's just people that migrated there. And you're right. There were no universities, but there were, religious schools, and there was infrastructure. It had a rich agriculture.
You're just blowing off his main point. It really feels like you're missing it. His main point is that there was tremendous migration under Jewish rule, and that's what we're talking about today. Not what the Ottomans, not the religious schools.
For the years that you gave me, migration made up a small part of the population growth, like 10 to 20%. And I read about this. I don't know where you're getting 500,000 from. The population of Palestine itself, in the year of like 1910, it was like 650,000, I think.
I'll repeat. I didn't say anything about 1910.
1910 is post-Zionism.
And in 1932 to 1937, 500,000 Arabs migrated there. I'll try and find the number for it, but we don't have to go back to 1910. Focus on the exact years that I just.
No, I was just throwing out a year to give you what the population was.
Right, I know, but that's not relevant to this point.
I guess you're not connecting the dots here. I'm saying that the migration, even in the time frame that you were giving me, migration made up a small part. Like that's certainly not a majority.
Recorded the population from 1910 and picked up 600,000, and I told you that a number that's 90% of that, or 95% of that, migrated in a 15-year period, and you're saying what? That I'm not connecting it?
Hold on, I gotta see.
Randy, how you doing?
Hey, dudes. People are so confident with their nonsense,